Our stories also illustrate some different kinds of malware. A Trojan horse is a piece of software whose actual behavior is different than you expect it to be. The Sony copy protection debacle is an example of this case, where the user expected putting a CD into a drive to get the music, but actually it changed their operating system. A virus is a piece of software that replicates itself and propagates, but it needs some host program to run in. Often viruses are in email or PDF documents or word processor documents. Over time, these host programs have learned to defend better against viruses, so it's harder to inject code into a PDF than it used to be. But all of these are programs that have to do complicated things that end up treating their data as some form of code and therefore make it possible to embed viruses in them. The last category is worm. The Morris worm is the original example. WannaCry is another one, and Mirai to create botnets. Those are all examples of worms that are processes that are their own host and replicate themselves on other machines. One thing all of these kinds of malware have in common is the concept of a payload. So that's the part of the malware that's not there just to make the malware happen, to propagate itself and replicate and so on, but the part that performs the bad action. So a payload might be some code that copies data to steal it, or deletes or encrypts data for ransom, or that creates a backdoor access for future commands. So not all malware has an immediate effect. As in the case of botnets, the payload could be some program that's meant to run in the future instead of right away. So for example, the rootkit that went along with the Sony Trojan horse, that would be considered the payload of the Trojan horse.